Module 5, Lesson 3, Best Practices for Video Conferencing. Why would we want to use video conferencing in our classroom? There are several reasons that video conferencing is a good option. These include being able to connect with learners no matter where they are, building relationships with students both in the classroom and virtually, allowing students to engage in high-order questioning and thinking, allowing students to ask questions about content being presented in the classroom, give formative assessments to assess where students are in the learning process, use guided practice to demonstrate how students should work through problems and learn content, and allow sharing among students, whether that be sharing of content learned in the class or sharing to build relationships. There are different types of video conferencing sessions. There are actually 3 types: whole group, small group, and individual conferencing. Let's take a closer look at each of these. With whole group conferencing, we would want to use this when we want to build a community through check-ins, icebreakers. This is a time to build relationships with your students and allow students to build relationships with each other. Whole group video conferencing is also a great option when you want to introduce a new concept or topic to the class. Whole group is also beneficial if you're wanting to provide an overview of the work for the week and make sure students know what tasks need to be completed each day. Small group video conferencing is great when you want to work with students and need differentiation among different student groups. This is also great for guided practice and application, as you can work with a smaller group of students and answer questions more specifically and directly. Formative assessments are also good during small group video conferencing, and small group video conferencing allows for group discussions. Individual video conferencing is good for personalized instruction, being able to work one-on-one with students and address their specific needs. This allows time for individual practice and application of concepts that students may be struggling or need extra help with. This also allows you for individual student conferencing. Maybe you're going over a writing piece or some project that students have turned in. Individual student conferencing is a great place for this because you can provide personalized feedback in real time through individualized video conferencing. It's important to plan a video conference ahead of time. The first thing you'll want to do is choose a video conferencing platform. This may already be determined for you by your school or district, but Google Meet, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams are great options for video conferencing. When you're planning a video conferencing, make sure to establish norms and set expectations with your students about how they should act and what they should do during a video conference. Check out this infographic from Ditch That textbook that gives you student tips for successful video calls. This infographic can also be found in the Module 5 Resources section. When planning a video conference, make sure that you develop an agenda and plan each part of the video conference, just like you would make plans for an in-class or in-person lesson. The template you see on your screen is available in the Module 5 resources and can be used to plan your video conference lesson. Here are a couple of examples of plans for video conference lessons. One is a 45-minute block class and the other one is an 80-minute. Both of these are presented by Marcia Kish, and examples of these resources are also in the Module 5 resources. You can see that in both of these examples, there is time for whole group and small group, and that is divided up with given times for what students should be doing during those times. Also notice that these options present how you could do this for both virtual and on-site in-person classes. So you can actually use video conferencing with in-person classes and virtual students, but there are some things that you want to make sure that you are aware of. First of all, if you are doing both a video conference and having in-person students at the same time, make sure to call on students in both locations so that both feel involved in the class and in the lesson. Remember to ask students in both locations if they have questions. Make sure you're addressing both groups. Also, have students comment on questions, opinions, and answers given by students in the other location. Make sure you're building those relationships and allowing students in both locations to collaborate with each other. Consider cross-site projects to have students complete group work. You could have students that are in person working with virtual students on a project via video conferencing. There are lots of other ideas for using video conferencing with students. This infographic, posted by Holly Clark and Matt Miller, give you ideas for how to use video conferencing with your students. While we've already discussed whole and small group instruction, you could also do it for things like read-alouds, virtual guest speakers, virtual field trips, and lots of other things. This resource is in the Module 5 resources. So your task is to create a video conference lesson plan. Use the video conference plan template in the resources section or your own template to outline a video conference plan for your class. When you are finished, please upload the finished plan to the best practices for video conferencing section of the Google form. Resources mentioned in this presentation, as well as many others, can be found at the link below or by going to Module 5 resources. Thank you.